Okay, guys, on this particular piece, I'm going to be showing you how to create your little kind of braided cable that you need on your surface for extra credit. So I'm going to kind of show you how to do that. It's pretty easy to do. First thing you're going to do is to create a cylinder. Okay, so just go to your create cylinder and create a cylinder. Okay. The cylinder that you're going to want, I got my measurement up here, is you're going to want it for what we're doing about 10 feet tall, okay? And then you're going to want it about 2 inches, okay? So let's just create a little cylinder here. Initially, I'll just go ahead and create it, and then I'm going to come in here and manipulate it. So we said 2 inches. So let's go here, 2 inches, and okay, from the front. Actually, that's a 2-inch 1-inch radius to make it 2 inches because that measures from the center. So 1 inch there. That'll give us 2 inches. Okay, and then what do we say? 10 feet tall. Okay, that'll get it long enough. Now, the other thing that we need is to set how many segments we want in here. And defaults to 18. That's probably fine. 18 will probably be fine for what we need. What we're going to do is take this and we're going to extract some wireframes off of it. Now, the other thing we need to do is our height segments. Okay, and this caps out at 200. So we want to go ahead and put 200 height segments in it so we have enough subdivisions to twist this. Okay. The next thing we're going to do is we need this cable to be twisted, so we want these lines. What we're going to do is end up extracting lines from this to create these splines that we need. So we're going to put a twist modifier on this. So come in here, add a twist modifier to it. And then you can, on your angle, you can start twisting this, and you'll see that as we slowly go up, we can actually twist this. Okay. And I think my twist that I did was 2,000 on the twist, which gave me something about like that. Okay, at that point, we can go ahead and collapse this in. So just right click and go ahead and convert it to an editable poly. And then what we're going to want to do is extract these lines off of this. Okay, so we're going to come on here, and the way that I would do it is to initially, let's go ahead and just grab, dragging across like this, those edges right there, and then loop those, and that will get all of our wires that are going up. We don't want these going across, we just want those going up. Okay. Once you have those selected, then you can go over here on your modify panel, and there's a button right down here, create shape from selection. When you click on that, it'll actually create splines from these. Now, we don't want smooth, that'll subdivide it. We just want linear. So in other words, it's going to give us exactly what we had, and click OK. And then we're going to go in here and pick them, and so you'll see now you have a set of splines in here. And then we can make these renderable. So I'm going to go over here to enable rendering. And then defaults to radial, okay, but that's some excess geometry that we don't really need. So we're going to go to rectangle. And so these will make these kind of angular, but then we're going to, the shader we'll put on them will kind of smooth those for us. And so I'm thinking about 0.1 on your length and width to make them squares, and that'll be probably fine for your thickness of your wire. Okay, so I'm just going to move this off right now, and you can see it. And there's our wireframe. Okay, so let's go ahead and name this. Okay, so this is our wire mesh. And then the thing about it is we actually want 2 of these, and what we're going to do is come up here to our mirror function and mirror this, and we're going to do a copy, and that way it's going to get us one set going one direction, another set going the other direction. Okay, so copy, and it's on the x-axis, is the axis we're using, and click OK. And now you'll see that we have 2 meshes. Okay, So go ahead and pick your original wire mesh. Then we can go in and click our attach button, and we can actually attach these together, and now they're all one. Okay. Okay. And really what we should have done, I forgot to do it, is made a copy of this. Okay, but we'll just make another one really quick. Okay. So let's make another one because we want one that is not twisted also. So let's just make another one real quick. So another cylinder. And same attributes. We're going to make it height to 10 feet. And we're going to want 1 inch for our radius. Okay, and then we can convert that to a poly. And then we don't want the caps on it. So I'm going to go ahead and just click here and delete those caps. We don't need the caps on it. And then we need to make some materials for these. Okay. So in the material editor, I want this inside one to be a black rubber. Okay. So the easiest thing to do that is just pull out an Origin design and then use a preset. Okay, so we have presets over here, so go ahead and just do a matte, go ahead and go down here and go to rubber, and I ended up on mine making this a little bit darker, so I went for a little bit darker, and I boosted the glossiness just a little bit, something like that, and then let's name this wire inside rubber. Okay, and then we're going to put that on our and we just need to call this wire inside rubber. That'll be our inside piece. Then here's our outside piece. Okay, and for your wire mesh, what I tell you to do is whatever color that you ended in for your chrome that you were doing, your tinted chrome. So this one is tinted chrome. All right, so this is the tinted chrome that you're putting on your other parts of the model, and we're going to put that on here too so that we're staying with our color. Now, the thing about it is this tinted chrome, you want to make a copy of this, okay? And we want to call this one tinted chrome wire because we're going to give this was a separate attributes from the other one. And the main thing on this one, and of course we'll put this on our wire, is that we want to go into it. And of course, this is where you're tinting your color that we made for the tinted chrome. And what you want to do is to go down here into this tab that says Special Effects, and you want to click on Rounded Corners. Okay, this will cause this when it renders to smooth it out. And my experiments based on the size we're working at is a 0.1 is a good radius for your wire to be smoothed out. Okay, so Special Effects, Rounded Corners, 0.1. Okay. All right, so that's the two materials that we need on these. Okay, so I'm just going to delete that. We don't need that anymore. These are my original ones. I'll just go ahead and hide those. Okay, the next thing you need to do is to draw a spline that you want to put this on. Okay, and so I've already drawn a spline here, so you can see from the top, this is the spline. And I can unhide my piece now where you can see it, and so I'm just running a spline from this side and running it through here. So there's no big trick in drawing that. Now I have a tendency to draw in a very angular fashion, so I just draw points like this initially of what I want. And then after I've drawn that, I come back in and get the vertices and I pick them all. And then I go up here, right click, and make them all smooth. And then I've got a smooth spline. And then I can move these around however I want to get the look that I want. Now later I may come back and decide I want some of these to be a Bezier because I want to do a certain attribute to it. So you can always right click and come in here and make it a Bezier, and then can adjust it some there too if you want to. Okay, so you're just making a spline, and it's what you're doing is going to have these tubes that we make go down that spline. Okay, so what we're going to do is, it doesn't matter, these don't have to be on top of each other. Actually, I need to get those and hide these. Okay, here's the two that I made. So it doesn't matter which one of these you do first. Okay, let's do the tube first. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go to our modify panel, and we're going to add a world space modifier. It's up here at the top. These are objects. These are modifiers for the objects, but these are modifiers that modify the world space, and that's what we're going to do. And we want this one called path deform. Okay, so when I click on that, it's going to add a modifier onto this. Then right here, it's going to say pick path. And so I click on that, then I go pick the spline that I drew, which is the path I want it to follow. And then it's going to start wrapping it on there. Now, the trick here is you have to go use this button that says move to path, and then it will actually move it on to the path. Now, to get it exactly the way you want it, you're going to want to look through the camera, and then the percent is sliding it along the path. Okay, so that's moving it along the path. Okay, now it's starting from over here, so what I want to do is adjust my percent where it just goes off of the edge of the screen over here on the left. Then my stretch will stretch this and make it longer, so then I just want to add it enough so I get it off of the screen over here. So it starts over there and goes all the way across. Now, at this point, I can come into this modifier right here that I've already set, and I can copy it. Okay, then I can pick this wire mesh, and then I go over here, right click and paste, and it will paste it on there. And then all I have to do is move it to the path, and it's keeping the same attributes that it had before, and so it goes right on top of it, and then I'm done. And there is my wire mesh and my black tube setting where I want it. Now, the other cool thing about this is if I don't like exactly the way it looks, if I go back to this initial spline, it's still attached to that spline. So I can go to my vertices, okay, and I can pick, I've got a vertice right there, and I can move it. And you'll see that it adjusts this tube with it, okay? So I still can adjust this, like if I want to turn that into a Bezier and then decided I wanted the nature of the curve to be more like that, I could do that, okay? So it's nice that it's still pliable and can still be modified. You just have to figure out where those points are, and then, you know, if I wanted it to come up, I could do something like that. Okay, and that's pretty much it. Okay, there you go. Thank you very much.